I can almost recite it by heart. Okay. The caption tells you that these are soldiers who are moving forward to win further victories, but in fact this is the filmmakers ending with a piece more dishonesty. We know that this is film that was taken before the battle, and that's perhaps why they're looking so cheerful. But the idea is to give you a contrast between the British soldiers who are moving forward and the others who are less fortunate, who are of course the German prisoners of war, who are being sent back to Britain, and you see them being loaded onto trains. So this is the contrast with which the filmmakers wish you to leave the cinema, happy that our boys are moving forward.
It's an old trick.
It's an old trick, and it's a very standard one. Dangerous job, especially when you remember the technology. These were large wooden boxes. They were operated by a cameraman turning a handle. The film was inflammable. The cameras were, because of their weight, they worked best on tripods. So this was not really like maybe the sort of coverage you'd expect after Vietnam, when a cameraman takes a small camera right into the front with them. These are You're talking about 2 or 3 people carrying heavy kit and setting it up, and always the danger that if you set up a large piece of equipment on a tripod in a trench, maybe the enemy will notice that you're doing something and think perhaps they should reward you with a shell or some machine gun fire. So yes, a dangerous job. This is one of the very famous scenes, yes. This is the blowing up of a large mine under the German positions opposite the British, and the mine was set off 10 minutes before the attack. It presented a problem for the filmmakers, because if you show a big explosion like that, the audience will want to see the results. The difficulties for the British were that the crater resulting from that mine wasn't captured for another 2 or 3 months, long after the film had actually opened. So
still, we see the crater here.
Yes, well, the editors here have cut in a crater from a different explosion. They have somebody, some people at the top of the crater here, and in a moment they kick a stone down onto him. Somebody climbs up from the bottom. It's a very good way of demonstrating to you how deep the crater is. Here he comes, and it's certainly an impressive crater, but it's not, if you like to say, the right crater. This is like a cookery program. It's one we prepared earlier. Can I fast forward?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. In this you have a scene where British soldiers are guarding German prisoners of war. And you can tell that the cameraman is actually saying to some of the British people, go on, offer them a drink, offer them a cigarette, because they're always looking back at the camera, and as soon as they've done the least possible, then they snatch the drink or the packet of cigarettes back. So it's very obvious that they're doing something that has been suggested to them. Yeah, go back and offer them another one, you see. They are responding all the time to suggestions from the camera.
This is very famous. This is
yes. If you
used over and over again.
If you had £1 for every time you had seen this scene on television, you would be a very rich man. If we're looking at a scene like this to try to establish whether it's authentic or fake, there are many details that we can look at. We'd start by looking at the trench itself. Veterans who actually served in the First World War will point out that this trench is much too shallow and much too wide. It would have given no real protection against artillery fire. You can also consider the amount of equipment that the soldiers are wearing. In the attack on the 1st of July 1916, one of the many controversial points was the amount of equipment that each soldier was meant to wear. Here they're hardly carrying anything apart from their rifles. People will also say, where's the barbed wire? Now in the next shot, you can actually see the barbed wire that the soldiers are supposedly advancing through, but you then ask yourself a number of other questions. If these people are getting shot, then how come the cameraman, who is standing up behind a tall camera on a tripod, feels that he's safe? Another detail that you can look at in this shot is the behavior of this casualty here, who you just saw falling earlier. Right at the end of the shot, first of all, he looks over his shoulder towards the cameraman, and then he actually crosses his legs to make himself comfortable. And I think you could say that that's not really very likely behavior for somebody who has really been shot in a battle. The reason why you have to fake an over-the-top scene is that this is what the cameraman actually saw at the moment of the attack. These small dots on the horizon are the British troops attacking. The cameraman filmed the mine explosion from a position slightly further up the hill, brought his camera down to here, and filmed the attack. But all you can see is small dots on the horizon, and then after a while some of them break away and come back. Maybe they have already realized that the attack is failing and that all there is for them to do is to return to their positions. But as a visual climax for the film, it really provides no satisfaction at all. You can easily understand why the camera people felt that they had to go back and create something more exciting.